Free parlay comes through for us once again last week at UFC Vegas 99 as Asu Al-Mabayev and Charles Johnson do their thing to cash that plus 123 Locky two-step. And the Locky Trinity has been completed with Darren Elkins going out there and defeating Daniel Pineda, cashing a plus 316 ticket for us. The free parlay has been tremendous for us this year. Not so much last year, but this year we've definitely been killing the game. So I appreciate all the love and support and people hopping onto this segment and showing your love in the comment section below or dropping a like or even dropping a subscribe. But just a reminder, the best way to take advantage of this parlay is actually get it earlier in the week when you're able to get a slightly better line than when I drop it to the public on Fridays. Slightly better this week as well, and you'll see when I drop the parlay here for you guys. Again, check out the MMA LOTM Patreon page, not only to get early access to this parlay, but a ton of other great betting content for all UFC cards, Bellator, PFL, and not to mention all the regional cards that I cover as well. That's where you guys can show your ultimate support. The MMA LOTN Patreon page, link in the description below. Bare minimum, drop a like, drop a subscribe on the YouTube channel, drop a comment. That's all I ask. All right, without further ado, let's get right into the Locky two-step. First step that we got up for you guys is going to be Miktaibek Orobai as he takes on Mateusz Rombeski. Again, this should be a grapple-heavy matchup, and Rombeski, very difficult to deal with how powerful and how strong he is with his wrestling and his BJJ, but I think Orobai will be able to do a good enough job in terms of creating scrambles, creating a high pace and high activity that Rombeski is going to struggle to establish his pace with. That will allow Orobai to start running away with this matchup in the second and third rounds, showcasing that he is the better overall grappler and the better overall MMA fighter. I do think that Orobai has a better striking game because he does like to throw straight shots down the pipe. He has that shovel uppercut that he likes to implement as well, whereas Rombeski likes to just crash the pocket with wide winging hooks, which leave him open to getting countered. Give me Orobai as the first step here, either to get a late finish or to win by decision. As long as he gets his hand raised, he cashes as the first step in our Locky two-step. The second step is going to be Lerone Murphy as he takes on veteran Dan Ige, but I just think Murphy is much better all around. He's the better striker, has a good clinch game, has a good wrestling game as well. Ige, BJJ black belt, but doesn't often look to utilize that defensively. He mostly gets his best work done in the striking and boxing range, but I think he's going to struggle to catch Lerone Murphy with many big shots, and he'll actually be eating many counters on the return here from the more athletic, more explosive, and faster style of Lerone Murphy. So look for Murphy to batter Dan Ige over the course of 15 minutes and win this fight on the scorecards. A little bit chalky here, right? With both of these guys, Orobai and Murphy. I was able to lock in minus 120 earlier this week, sorry. But as of right now, you're looking at minus 122. So just 2 points worse, still more than worthy in my opinion. The Locky Trinity, if you're going to look to add a third leg here, we're going to go a little bit riskier with Abus Magomedov as he takes on Bruno Ferreira. I'm seeing a lot of love for Magomedov, so I must say that I am a little bit squeamish here, hoping that there is not too much of a mush on the German Dagestani fighter here, but I do think that Abus will do a good enough job in terms of keeping Ferreira at bay. I think we'll see him utilize his range and his reach and his speed advantage to really land those counters against Ferreira, and it wouldn't surprise me if it ends up looking like the Nursultan Ruziboyev fight, where he was able to just counter Ferreira from distance, land those big shots, and put him away. Ferreira body language does not look the greatest after 3 or 4 minutes of action, and I do think that Magomedov could take two approaches. He either snipes him from distance or applies his wrestling pressure, starts to wear Ferreira down, and then eventually start letting go with his hands when Ferreira is not as dangerous with his power. But as long as Magomedov gets his hand raised here, that should be enough for us to cash our Locky Trinity, which I was able to lock in at plus 221 earlier this week. As of right now, you can get plus 210. Still not a bad line. Here's to hoping that we can cash these free parlays for you guys. Reminder, earlier today, I dropped the LFA breakdown, which starts later on this evening on Friday. I dropped the quick picks. So if you want a quick picks version of my UFC 308 breakdown of the full card, you guys can check that out. But later today, I'll also be dropping my 3 best prop spots for UFC 308. So make sure you guys check that out as well. All right. I will see you guys later this evening for that segment. Peace.